The US is reportedly considering options for a sanctions package against China to deter it from invading Taiwan. Sources tell Reuters that Taipei is lobbying the European Union to do the same. Leaders of the self-ruled island increasingly fear a possible invasion as military tensions escalate in the Taiwan Strait. While China's aggressive response to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's visit to Taipei last month prompted the US to explore its options. It's something that was on the table after Russia invaded Ukraine in February. The West threatened Moscow before the war with unspecified sanctions, but that failed to dissuade President Vladimir Putin from sending his military across the border. And Chinese authorities are already sending out warnings about any potential US moves. A foreign ministry spokesperson said today that no country or individual should underestimate the Chinese government and the people's firm resolve and will to safeguard sovereignty. Meanwhile, US lawmakers are set to debate a bill to boost ties with Taiwan and give it more military hardware to deter Chinese invasion. Beijing views the legislation as another step in a campaign to undermine its One China principle and a move towards formal recognition of the island. For more, Simon Marks joins us live from Washington, D.C. Simon, why would the US be considering these sanctions? What exactly would they be targeting?
Well, we don't know exactly what they may be targeting because these appear still to be early-stage conversations between the United States and the European Union. And the White House yesterday would not get into any of the details. The aim appears to be fresh moves aimed at trying to persuade the Chinese not to launch any kind of assault on Taiwan, going beyond the measures that the United States has already taken. It's certainly feasible in terms of securing legislative support for the move here in Washington, again, depending on the details, because Congress is becoming increasingly hawkish on China. And only today here, lawmakers are going to begin debating and discussing the details of the Taiwan Policy Act. That's that fresh piece of legislation. If it's passed, it would provide substantial amounts of additional military resource to Taiwan, more than $4 billion of security assistance. And that also includes bolstered sanctions. They're included in that legislation. So things are moving here now on a variety of different fronts.
Simon, we can expect this move, like many other provisions under this debating of the Taiwan Policy Act, to anger Beijing. The point is, will it anger Beijing to the point where it essentially sparks the kind of action on Taiwan that this bill is meant to deter in the first instance?
Well, I think it's important to underscore that as far as the Taiwan Policy Act is concerned, we're at the beginning of marking up the legislation. We don't know what the legislation is going to look like when that process is over. The White House has indicated concerns about some of the measures that the Senate is proposing to take. Again, they wouldn't go into the details about that, but there is definitely a back and forth underway with the White House appearing to be less hawkish than some members of the Senate want President Biden to be. But we're still dealing, of course, with the aftermath of Nancy Pelosi's visit to Taiwan. That was seen by some observers here as putting pressure on the Biden administration to dilute its adherence to the One China policy in a way that makes some of the president's top advisors uncomfortable. So on the face of it, tensions are certainly going to increase. But that's all going to hinge on the outcome of the debate about the legislation and the sanctions, and both of those conversations are getting started here. Their outcomes still uncertain.
Thanks for that. Simon Marks reporting live to us there from Washington, D.C.